How about now? Can you hear me now? Anybody, can you hear me now? Can't hear me. Still no sound. Yes, you can hear me? Alright, so we got, sorry, first I want to do a shout out to David Fleeman, who got me some new equipment that I'm trying out. He's an amazing person. He is down in Nevada. He travels an hour each way, so a 2-hour drive, to bring all of the signs and flags and everything to the courthouse every day, and he's an amazing person. One of my favorites down in Nevada, so thank you, David. I'm trying out this new equipment that's absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. So, of course, I'm waiting on pins and needles just like everyone else for what's going on in Nevada today. I really hope that these people are allowed to be released pre-trial. I mean, how many of us want to see Angie and Carol and Lisa be reunited and be able to help in this fight, especially because I believe that none of them are allowed in the courtroom. So it would be huge to be able to have them be able to do this. And so we're all waiting for that to see what comes out. I heard this morning that Cliven Bundy was denied. They were saying that he's already proven he would assault federal officers and that he would call people to his aid. So that's the reason they're using to keep him in pre-trial, in detention pre-trial. Now they've split everyone up, so they have 2 now in Henderson and 2 in Pahrump. I heard Ryan and Hammond really are happy that they're back in Pahrump. But let's talk about how this affects us. Not just the guys that are in detention, but us as the taxpayers. So now that they have people in 2 different detention centers, they are going to have 2 different transports every single day. So now we have our multi-million-dollar trial, and we know how many people, we know how much money this trial is taking. We saw how much money the trial is, the first 2 trials with Eric and everyone was taking up till now. Now it's going to be doubled because they're going to have twice as many marshals. They're going to have 2 different transports. They're going to have to travel back and forth. So they could easily cut that by letting these guys out pre-trial. I also heard in one of the updates that they have an ex-police officer that has opened his house to these people. So I really don't see a reason that they need to keep these guys in pre-trial detention. But we will we'll see what happens today. Now we know what they do and what they do here, the government. They put everything all together. So also next week we have a lot of sentencing going on in Oregon. And they split us up. You know, they did this to the Oregon second trial. These 4 guys that are being sentenced. They went to trial at the same time the first trial in Nevada was going, and they are able to split our support that way. And so we can't be in Nevada and in Portland at the same time. So I put it out there to everyone, if you can go to Portland or Nevada, if you can be there to support these guys, please do. It will awaken, it's a duty as American citizens to be a part of this justice system and to see what's really going on. And I can tell you that I had no idea until I was a part of it myself. And I know now that I have, I'm not going to stop. This is something that we all need to understand. You know, before I used to be the type of person that get a jury notice and I'll do my 8 hours of community service and not wanting to go and waste my time being a juror. But I can tell you now that for sure I will always try to waste my time being a juror because it's not a waste of time. And people need you there. And that is it's part of our part in the government is we need to hold people accountable. We need to do that by being jurors. We need to do that by going and voting. We need to do that by holding our elected officials accountable for everything, including our police officers, everything that's going on in the towns around us. I know Scott Drexler's on here, and I know he's been going to the Forest Service meetings that are going on, and we have one going on here in Idaho on the 13th in our town. So that's just as important. Going to your city council meetings, all of those things are just as important. So if you can make it to Nevada or to Portland, I've got the dates posted. I will get accurate dates posted as soon as I can, and I will try to see you at one of those places. What I wanted to come on today and talk about Todd Engle. Now, we all know in the first trial of the Bundy Ranch, Greg Burleson and Todd Engle were found guilty. Greg Burleson was found guilty of quite a few charges and sentenced to, I want to say, 68 years. And Todd Engle is looking at going to sentencing. And he was found guilty of 2 of the lesser charges. He was found guilty of interstate travel and native extortion and obstruction of justice. Both of these things are absolutely ridiculous. The Nevada Highway Patrol officer testified on the stand that Todd Engle was helpful to him. In the video, you see the BLM officers pointing weapons, and Todd Engle immediately goes to the Nevada Highway Patrol, brings him back to the spot, and stays with him the entire time. So how is that obstruction of justice? I also want to state, a lot of us from the first trial are feeling like, here we filed these same motions. We filed the motion of destruction of evidence. We filed these motions to have Dan Love come in. Time didn't work for us. Dan Love was fired by the end of the second trial, and now he is testifying. He's testifying. There's BLM officers that are testifying. There was snipers. Eric was not afforded a self-defense defense because there was no proof of snipers. But now we're sitting here and there is proof of snipers. Here, if we would have had everything that's come out in this evidentiary hearing able for us in the first trial, there wouldn't have even been a second trial. Eric was taken off the stand for saying my main focus was straightforward and up and to the right, saying that he was concerned about the snipers up on the hill. He was pulled off the stand and not allowed to do that because they say, well, what you could have said, and you were alluding to the snipers. So here again, our rights were trampled upon, and I'm really glad that it's finally getting out there, and that they will be able to bring this information into their trial because it is going to help. Hopefully we won't have a mistrial the first time, and they'll be straight acquitted through the first trial because they'll be able to get more truth out into the courtroom. But for us and for Todd Engle, that was not able to happen. So now I would like to bring on Kelli Cooper. Kelli Cooper is Todd's sister, and she's got some updates on Todd and his situation. So let's see, I've never done this before, but let's see how we can do this. Kelli. Find out to Kelli, so she should be coming on here in just a second. I see BJ joined us. I want to say anyone who saw that live auction that BJ did last night, that was absolutely amazing and so much fun. I've seen a couple other people like American Warrior Revolution do that before. It worked really well, and so that was exciting, and I hope to see more of that. Hi, Kelli.
Hi. How you doing?
I can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? Can you see it?
We're both kind of new at this joining on thing, so please bear with us. We still have no sound.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear. Can anyone else hear out there?
I allowed her to have access to my microphone. Can anybody else hear me?
Okay, they're saying they can hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay.
So just go ahead.
Okay. So as Andrea was kind of talking to you about Todd, he wanted to update you on some good news finally. He does have his sentence hearing coming up in December on the 22nd. They are trying to give him 20 years for a crime that should be about 33 months. So I'm going to read you Todd's letter, and I'll start with, he says, "Hello, everybody. I've finally been blessed with a new attorney that cares. Thank the Lord. If you're not aware, I've had a really horrible experience with my past court-appointed attorneys, which has most likely resulted in me being the position I find myself currently. To give you an outline of the issues I've had with the past attorneys, I will try to be brief. The first court-appointed attorney gave me his contact information when I tried to call. There was never an answer. I came to find out that he had no office or receptionist. I asked him if he would give me his cell phone number, and he said no way. He told me he was hiring a receptionist, and on the 2 occasions that someone did answer the office phone, there was background noise of a baby crying, and the receptionist sounded like it was his girlfriend who just woke up. My second court-appointed attorney was a train wreck from the get-go. 7 weeks from trial, I questioned him about the discovery, and he was clueless. We then had a status hearing, and during the proceedings, he bent over, laid his head on the desk, and took a quick nap. I woke him up and questioned, "What the heck are you doing? You're embarrassing." After that, the court took a quick 15-minute bathroom break, and when we reconvened, my attorney had left the building. The judge was perplexed and upset. Shortly after, I motioned to dismiss him and went pro se. The judge at my pro se hearing recommended I keep him on as standby counsel, so I did. What a mistake that would turn out to be. At trial, he browsed the internet, took no notes, wouldn't let me use his computer, and fell asleep at least once every day during trial. The marshals kept looking at me like, "Are you going to wake him up?" I would just shrug my shoulders, totally clueless as to what to do with him. After I lost my pro se status during the trial for asking a question about Dan Love, court-appointed number 2 took over as my attorney of record again. Now he had to cross-examine witnesses. Oh dear Lord, what a disaster. On the 2 occasions I let him cross-examine witnesses, he completely fell apart. He was visibly shaking and his voice was cracking. Also, he would do nothing I asked of him and thought he was Johnny Cochran in his attempt to deliver his in a polished manner for him until he told me I shouldn't talk to any of the other attorneys as they did not have my best interest at heart. You know, those are the attorneys that got their clients acquitted of all charges. After I lost at trial and as my first scheduled sentence hearing approached, it was obvious that court-appointed attorney number 2 was woefully unprepared to handle something of this magnitude. 1 week before the hearing, I dismissed him a second time. My third court-appointed attorney seemed ambitious enough, but in 12 weeks, he'd only visited me once and did not provide me with a way to contact him. When asked by my family about his lack of communication with me, he told my sister that I could send him a letter in the mail. Seriously? Back to stamps and envelopes in my quest not to do 20 years in prison? I was in the process of dismissing court-appointed attorney number 3 when a friend who has been helping us all on the outside found an attorney that was willing and able to help. He is very knowledgeable in regards to this case. In less than a week, this gentleman has already contacted my family and spent time on the phone with them, helping their peace of mind. He has answered my emails from prison, and he's in the process of getting the discovery and preparing for my sentence hearing scheduled for 12/22. He doesn't think we'll have to postpone my hearing again. Through 20 months in this fight for my life, I've never had an attorney that could answer my questions and be counted on to at least communicate with me. Through much prayer, it seems that God has finally provided me with competent counsel that has my best interest at heart. He's committed to being there for me through my sentence hearing and appeal if necessary, and has only asked that I pay his expenses. Being that I feel a worker is worthy of his hire, I ask only that we try to help him with what he needs to keep me from doing 20 years. If you can find it in your heart to help financially, I will be forever grateful, and it will directly help me in my fight for freedom. Sincerely, Todd Engel. So that's where we're at. We're all super thankful that the Lord has blessed us with this man. He is a very good man. Most of you probably can imagine how many lawyers that I've tried to talk to about taking Todd's case. Most of them would not even return my phone calls. And if they did, they wanted pretty much my liver and both kidneys as a down payment, which I wasn't willing to give up or could give up. But anyway, it's been very frustrating for us not to be able to find Todd proper counsel. And this man is willing to put Todd's needs first and take care of the finances after that. And so he's a good man. I'm hoping that everybody that can help him will please donate whatever you can to help pay his living expenses. He does have a family, so I have set up an account for him. It's paypalme./freedom for Todd, and we'll post that all around. Todd also did want me to try and get a t-shirt fundraiser started, much like Eric's. So I am working on that. Got some ideas on that I'm going to run by Todd. So that's where we're at. Todd is, as usual, his positive self, always happy, always upbeat, joking. When you get done visiting with him or talking to him, you always feel like that he's cheered you up. So anyway, that's where we're at. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for Americans for Standing for Liberty to help us, Idaho Political Prisoner Foundation. Todd and I don't often post asking for help. They have helped us with commissary immensely, but we do need some help with this attorney. So if you guys can help, we'd be super grateful. And it's kind of a rush. We've got too much to try and get this hearing settled. So anyway, that's where we're at with him. I just wanted to thank everybody. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks for your financial support. We're just going to keep fighting. That's all we can do.
Thank you, Kelly. I know, so is the December 20th date still the date that he's going to be sentenced?
It is. It's December 22nd, and it's a horrible time. It's the Friday right before Christmas. But this attorney seems to think there is really no need to postpone again. Like I said, he is on the ball. So that's what we're looking at. It's kind of interesting, all these new little things that pop up with this trial going on, because, you know, I just kind of keep shrugging my shoulders with the shredded papers and the missing videos and all that, and everything that they were denied in their trial. But
well, and Todd Engel was of his pro se for mentioning Dan Love.
Exactly.
And now Dan Love brought into the trial. Exactly. And so absolutely, you know, as we go through this, I just get frustrated, especially for Todd. And I have to say, going down there, you know, I always knew Todd Engle was from Idaho, but I'd never actually met him. It was different than Scott Drexler and Steve Stewart that I actually did know. But I got to know Todd very well when I would go down and visit him, and all the time I spent with him. And he is an absolutely amazing person. And like you said, you go there and you think you're going to cheer him up, and he ends up cheering you up. Anyone, you know, I know he's still got visits available sometimes down there. So if you go down there and you want to visit, I always suggested to visit Todd Engle, because he is just such an uplifting person. He has not let this got him down, and we just need to do whatever we can do to help Todd through this, because what they're trying to do here is they're trying to give him 18 to 22 years. Is that still his point system, 18 to 22 years?
Uh-huh.
If you were to shoot a police officer, you would get 25 years. And he gets charged with obstruction of justice and interstate travel and aid of extortion, and he's looking at 18 to 22 years. This is, you know, this is absolutely ridiculous. And what are they trying to do? Are they trying to punish Todd for everyone else, or, you know, make a point of giving him as much time as possible? So I really hope that this lawyer can really turn that around.
Yep. This it's just ridiculous what they're doing. I do think they're trying to make an example out of him. I mean, even Greg's 68 years, he didn't hurt anybody. So yeah, it's just.
He said some bad things. We've all gotten angry and said some bad things.
Exactly. And I think that was, you know, as a person who has been on a jury, if I found out all this stuff coming out after I listened to a case, I would be pretty upset that I convicted 2 people without hearing the whole truth. And that's what they did. They hid the truth from the jury. And so, yeah. Definitely, there's some definite appeals there, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. So, but
well, I hope that we can get some support rounded up this way, and maybe we can set up an online auction to help get some support for Todd as well. You know, I donate shirts and things to other auctions, so I can round up some things and see what we can start getting together for Todd, because he's got a huge place in my heart, and he's like a brother of mine, and you're like my sister. It's family now,
I miss
because we've all had to go through this together.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. We're forever family, that's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I'm going to let you go.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And we will definitely update as soon as Kelly gets those t-shirts done. We will get those out and shared. I'm going to share this all over the place. Keep praying for the guys in Nevada. I saw a little bit earlier they said Ryan Payne was denied as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's an update going on right now as we speak, so I'm going to let everyone go. I will keep everyone updated as much as I can, and let's help get Todd a lawyer that will actually work for him. So thank you, everyone, for joining me.